Ro, we've seen you wear so many hats over the years, and I think for the first time ever, you're spanning sort of the on-camera host role with a competition organizer. I mean, what's that been like for you?
It's funny for me because it actually feels like throwback.
Okay.
In a lot of ways, it feels like 2010, 11, 12, where I was wearing multiple hats, even at the CrossFit Games, and it was nice actually to kind of compartmentalize and move into different areas. This has been a really cool on-ramp, really just a blessing to be able to help friends who are putting on a competition. Yes, there's been a lot of event organization, like I've had my hands in it, but Rich has done a great job through like Mayhem for Mustard Seed, other events that they've run, by getting a highly competent team, mostly volunteers, who just put their back into it and have done a lot of stuff in the past that just gave them, yes, this is the biggest thing they've ever done, but they were totally prepared for it by all the things they've done before.
So cool.
Yeah.
But we do have you back on camera, and we have sort of like your OG crew, people who have done the CrossFit Games broadcast for years, and what is it like for you to be back with them?
Magical.
Yeah.
You know, in front and behind the camera.
Yeah.
You know, Joe Novello, who is the coordinating producer for this, he's been the coordinating producer of CrossFit since I lost that in 2012 on purpose. You know, we were like, hey, we should bring a professional in. Charlie Doobie, who was the first actual producer of the Update show after Hebrew, was like, hey, I can't do all this stuff.
Fair.
And we've got, it's a dream team both in front and behind the camera. So what's it like? It's been weird in some ways because you're like, it's like Bizarro world,
right?
And really cool in other ways. And I got to give credit to most of these guys who are like, not doing it for free, but they're like, hey, listen, this year, like, let's all get in, and the band's gonna get back together, and because these events are hard to run.
Yeah.
You know, it was a really eye-opening experience for me. Last year I did a lot of freelance stuff. It was like I went to Shanghai, went to Iceland, and I was only on that side. I was just kind of a contract killer, came in, did my job, and left. So to see really what it takes for a smaller event that has to pay some big bills, get some big people in there, and decide make some really hard decisions. It's been really a blessing also to have that team together.
I mean, you have had quite the journey, especially over the last year, 2 years, given everything that's happened with CrossFit HQ and media, and you know all the roles that you've filled. You're here, you've been freelancing. I've seen you do work with Noble. Like, what is the most handsome man in CrossFit up to these days in terms of media and work like that?
I am really, really happy to say that Noble, we formed a fantastic relationship last year, and I am coming on full time with them. Or I have come on full time with them already. They were really cool about saying, hey, we understand that you've got some stuff coming up, including the Mayhem Classic. So as soon as this is over, it's full time Noble in their media efforts as one of their media directors and helping out with what they're going to be doing, because which they're obviously doing fantastic things. So the next time you'll see us will be at Wadapalooza, obviously, and then a couple of the Loud and Live events we're going to have our fingers in as well. But then doing all these other cool things like the Fitness Film Festival, which was you know, when Todd Melanie first mentioned it, I was like, this is genius, but it's crazy. Like, how can you do something no one's ever done before?
Right, and the first of its kind.
And the first of its kind, yeah. And hopefully you guys get to come to that. It was such a blast last year. We're already planning for next year. So yeah, but that's taking the lion's share of my time, aside from Mayhem Classic.
But this is home now, right? And you kind of made a big shift from the West Coast to being in Tennessee. So how do you sort of balance where you are and where you've settled, and you know, the Noble job and the things that may come up in this crazy media world?
I mean, I've got Wanderlust, so I love it here in Cookeville because I'm a Texan. My wife is from Michigan, and it's a very good fit for us. But I also I love to travel. You know, like I've got obviously kids who are old enough to miss me, so I don't want to be gone on the road all the time. But it's really nice to have a remote position. That's a huge blessing, right? Because I get to live here comfortably and also help them and choose my shots in terms of what I want to do freelance. I don't have to go to Shanghai this year. I don't have to go I don't have to go do anything, which is really nice that I can be a little bit more selective and say, instead of just reacting like you said. Last year was crazy. It was like,
for everyone.
I gotta take this opportunity. I gotta take this opportunity. So to be able to kind of put down roots here, let the kids kind of get settled, the family get settled, it's been radical.
Learnings from this whole experience that you're going to take forward? I mean, it's not quite over yet, but you definitely have been through a lot already in the last couple days.
Days of the year.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a huge effort, right? Undertaking to plan the whole thing.
Okay, yeah, so for the event specifically, I didn't know if you were asking about the last year.
I guess that's a different set of learnings.
The teaching from those, I'm like, hold on, how long
I know, right?
Learnings from the year. Don't micromanage people. Like when you find the right people, you hire them, you put them in the right position. Do that for a reason. I mean, I've been in a lot of situations where it's like, say these words, do this exactly this way. I mean, trying to be the director and the producer and the event coordinator and all that kind of stuff. I would have gone crazy this weekend, right? We had flooding in the athlete tent. We had, internet problems with the broadcast. Like if you're trying to do that and micromanage. Like, if Sean Woodland's my play-by-play producer or my play-by-play announcer, he doesn't need me to tell him what to say.
You let him roll.
Put the right people in the right place, and like I said, that's in front of the camera, behind the camera, volunteer organizers, event coordinators, all that kind of stuff. That's a really big takeaway for me. Is like trust people.
Cool.
When in a leadership position, I've been like, it was nice for me to just say, hey, listen, you're here for a reason.
Yeah.
Go do your
job.
Go do your job.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're glad you guys are here, man. It's and takeaways, was it good?
It was awesome.
Good.
We've had a blast.
Good. Cool. Well, I hope this is the first of many, right? Like, obviously, we're going to do another Mayhem Classic, but I feel like this is a fantastic springboard for fans and spectators alike to kind of like just a start. It's just a start.
Oh,
Thank you.
thanks, Ro.